Are you an idea person, but sometimes you have a hard time turning those ideas into actions? If so, this video is probably going to help you. I'm going to show you a great way to turn your ideas into actions using a simple method in Trello. All right, so in this video, I'm assuming that you already know the basics about Trello, how to create a board, how to create a card, how to grab a card and drag it around, things like that. So this is not a tutorial on the basics of Trello. So if you don't know anything about it, you can follow along and you might see that it's actually pretty easy to use and it's a great tool. So let's go ahead and open up Trello. So what we're going to do is set up two boards. I have a brainstorms board and an action items board. And so we're going to set up both of these. And what you want to do is let's go ahead and start with the brainstorms board. Basically what we've got here is the different categories of ideas. So each list is its own category. So this would be a person who's a writer. So we've got article writing ideas here in the first list. We've got extra income ideas because, of course, if you're a writer, you're going to need some extra income because you're broke. And podcast episodes as well. So this is a writer who's also running a podcast, and great idea. Okay, so this needs to be a place where the only thing that lands here are ideas that just hit you. And this is a critique-free zone. You need a place where it's not mixed in with the other to-dos or anything else. This is only for ideas, and they may be just crap, but you need to go ahead and get them on a list and say, okay, I can come back to this later. So I've got a list of 10, 15 article ideas that I could do, but I know there's going to be a couple in there that I definitely want to follow through with and turn into action. So that's the idea here of the brainstorming list. Now let's real quick, we'll flip over to the action items list. And you're just going to set up I said action items list, action items board. You're going to jump over to that board and you will see three lists here: to-do options, in progress, and done. And so you're going to have a list here of things that you can grab and pull in the in progress thing. And there's only one thing going at a time if you're just an individual with a to-do list. And so you just drag that one thing over to in progress. So that's the basic idea of the action items board. So now let's jump back to the brainstorms board. And what we want to do is go ahead and set up, first of all, let's set up our labels. So you go to the show menu link there and click on more and then labels. So the method we're going to use to get an idea card over to our actions list is with a label. And there's a key label here called Go, and that's the one you're definitely going to need. If you don't want to use the other labels, I set one up for each category so that I could label all of these, that particular category. And you can also set up a rule that has them automatically you can have those labels set up automatically when you add them to that list as well, but we're not going to cover that today. So definitely set up a Go label, and you want to have those labels also on the other board. So the action items board also has the same labels as well. Now at this point, if you are working with someone else, this would be a great time to invite that person to this board. I'm not going to get into the collaboration options there, but Trello is great for collaborating as well. So let's go back to the brainstorms board. Now, so we've got, let's just do the extra income list here. We've got some interesting ideas here. You know, sell the dog, that's money, shear the cat, sell the fur. Not sure what we're going to get out of that. Probably not a great idea. But hey, look into Lyft driving. Let's take a look at this one. And so we say, you know what, this is something I could turn into action. I want to find out more about this and see if maybe this is an option. And so we've got a little checklist here, just a few things: research, pay scale, ask Dan how it's been for him. You got a friend that's been doing it. And maybe you want to say, you know, let's watch some YouTube reviews. All right, looks good. Now, if you have a card that's got a bunch of things on a checklist, that might just need to be its own project, maybe on its own board in Trello. So generally, though, you can just keep a few things on a checklist as part of this to-do. So here's one we're ready to move. So let me show you what happens here. There's a list of labels, and I'm not going to do this yet. The only one on it right now is extra income. But when we add the Go label, we're going to make sure that this card immediately jumps over to the action list. So we're going to use the power-up by the name of Butler. Butler is a great power-up for Trello. And now, if you have a Trello account, you have access to Butler. It's part of your Trello account. And if you upgrade to Trello Gold, you have unlimited access. Now, I'm free. This demo I'm doing here is on a free account that I set up just for this. But you have unlimited actions you can set up with Butler with a Trello Gold account. I would say that's definitely worth the money to me. So let's, if you don't know how to add a power-up really quickly, just hit Show Menu and Power-Ups right here. Okay, it'll come up and you'll add it here, and it'll say Add. I've already done it. Okay. So now what we're going to do is come back to the screen, and you'll see the Butler link here. We are going to set up a rule in Butler so that whenever we add the Go label to a card, it jumps to the other board and is ready for us. And this is so quick once you have it set up. It's brilliant. So we're going to add a rule here. So first thing, it says, hey, your command doesn't have a trigger yet. Select a trigger. So what we're going to do is say it's already right there. When the green Go label, and you can choose any label, is added to a card, I'll just say by anyone. Okay, that's the trigger. So when that happens, here's what we want to happen. We want to move the card to the top of the list, and it's looking for the list name, but let's say what board it is. Action items. To-do options. We want it to move to the top of the to-do options list on the action items board. That's the action we want to happen. Now, and you can do a number of other things with it after that as well. You can assign it to someone. You can have a checklist added to it that you've already set up. I mean, there's so much customization. This is not a pure Butler video, so I won't get into all that. But we're just going to save this, and that's the criteria. One trigger, one action, and hit save. All right. So now there's, the hard way to do this is to click into the card, click labels, choose Go, but there's no need for that. Each of these labels has a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, because of the order they're in here. And I just kept that default. So when I hover over this card, I just hit the 1 key. It adds the label, and it's going to disappear, headed over to the action items board. And now it's ready for me. So when I start digging through all of my ideas, and I say, now that's a good one, I need to make that happen, I just hit the 1 key on top of it. And bam, it lands in my to-do options list. So I can start working on this and making it happen. Because I can think about Lyft driving all day long for an income option, but until I actually take some kind of action, it's never going to happen. So this makes that idea real, brings it into reality, and you can drag it over here to in progress and say, all right, I'm starting to work on this. So I looked into the pay scale, I talked to Dan, I watched some YouTube reviews, and you know what? I'm making a decision on this. All right, great. And you drag it to done when you're done. I have used this approach to task management personally, just for me. I like it a lot better than just using one to-do list. I have a reminders list on my phone that I can add quick things to sometimes, but this is a great method for bringing your ideas to life, bringing them to the point where they're being turned into action. So I hope this has been helpful to you. If you liked it, click that like button. Also subscribe if you haven't already. I cover mostly Mac OS, iPhone, iOS, and also I've been getting into productivity videos as well. And I love productivity tools. And so if you're enjoying this, I hope you'll stick around. Thanks. We'll see you next time.